video I wanted to talk about ostinato patterns. An ostinato pattern is a repeating idea that runs continually through the song. So in this case, the ostinato pattern is in the feet. It's based on the Latin clave. It's very popular. You hear it in all sorts of music, Latin music, rock music, jazz, throughout the musical world. So once you've got the feet running smoothly, we're going to add the hands on top playing singles. Now, really quick, we're going to run into a friction point. On count and of 1, we have the right hand and the left foot cross. And then right after that, it's the left hand and the right foot cross. So you've got a crisscross happening. And that's a perfect example of a friction point, where you would make a simple little exercise to smooth it out. Just play your right hand and your left foot, and then your left hand and your right foot back and forth until it smooths out. Once you've got that going, let's move our right hand up to the cymbal, where we will continue to play singles, but also invert the singles to check that everything is working smoothly. After that, we would move on to doubles. So we would play 2 rights and 2 lefts, consecutive 16ths over the ostinato pattern, and also inverting those doubles. Once you've worked through the doubles and the inversions of them, you can move on to the paradiddle. I mentioned before, the paradiddle is just an excellent tool to use whenever you're learning something new, working through the paradiddle. In this case, the paradiddle is in the hands over top of the ostinato foot pattern. And there are 4 inversions of the paradiddle based on the fact that there are 4 rights in the paradiddle. And each of those rights will be the beginning of the pattern. So now let's move on and let's use a authentic hand pattern, the mambo or guaracha, that fits really nice with this ostinato foot pattern. Let that right hand dominate. Let the bell pattern, which is in the right hand on the cymbal, let that dominate and keep your left hand ghosting. Later you could do some accents in your left hand, and later even change the left hand. So before we change the left hand, what we should do is remove the left hand. Can we play that pattern in the right hand with the ostinato feet underneath smoothly without any left hand? So now that we're comfortable playing with only the right hand over the ostinato feet, we can change that left hand. So here's a couple ideas of what you can do with your left hand. These are fairly involved. If you're working on these ones, you may want to do them, build in the left hand note by note. By that I mean just play the first note in the bar on the left hand and make sure that that's landing correctly each time. And once it is, add the next notes that come in. And so you're building in the left hand note by note. And of course, it's going to require you to be able to identify friction points, which I talked about earlier. Is what if you can identify them, where it's happening, you can fix it. So let's check it out. So when we have ostinato patterns going, sometimes it's nice to break them up, open up some space and then return to them. So in this particular case, I want to change the bass drum. We're going to remove some bass drums and add a bass drum at the end that's in a slightly different count. It's a really effective one, and it goes like this. So there's a few ideas, and for the mambo guaracha, which uses a ostinato pattern in the feet. So check that out and have some fun playing some Latin beats on your drums.